Hi, it's Michelle Turner from Movement Lesson, and I'm here to talk about sequencing and using the safety of your door jamb. I say safety. The human body is not meant to deal with balance in a way that it's conscious. I don't wake up and go, oh, I have to catch my balance. And if you do, that's why you're coming to someone like me, or you're about to do these kind of lessons. So when the brain is in, oh, I need to balance mode, you're not learning because you're dealing with balance. Same thing could be said about your breathing, your heart function. I shouldn't wake up in the morning going, oh good, my heart's beating today. And if you are, you need to take care of that and bring that in the level, because those are life forces. And when they're life forces that are in your conscious brain, you're on life support. Whereas they're in their subconscious brain, meaning I don't walk around saying, hey, my breathing, my heart functioning, my balance, ooh, it's all good, and I'm fine. But we all need improvement with our balance. And also what I like to say is sequencing. So I'm going to just show you some tricks using the door jamb. These lessons, by the way, are great for people of age. They're great for any age. But if you're, let's say like me, 50 and older, they are great lessons that you can do to improve the way you function. Put your shoes on in the morning, take your shoes off, however you want to do. Again, I like the door jamb, or here, I have a chair here if you prefer the chair, the wall, whatever suits you. What you don't want is a death grip. You don't want to be like grabbing onto something. Just a nice, easy balance. Again, no death grip. If this is awkward for you with your hands over your shoulders, keep it down here. But again, I'm in the door jamb, I'm not going anywhere. I have a security, my brain knows that. Even though I'm capable, it's still a great thing, and I'll show you why. So what happens is that we, like I like to say, start losing our rotation as we get older. Now I have a whole video on that. You can click on this link on how to check your rotation using the door jamb. So if you've already done that, this is where we're at. So one of the things we can look at, like I said, is sequencing. Now you're not going to see any great movements, and that's fine. What this does is helps your balance, your walking, all of your eye-hand coordination, and it's very simple to do. So all I'm going to do is concentrate on my right foot. So very simply, and I'll be a bit more dramatic, you can bend the knees a little bit, but you don't have to. All I'm going to do is push my foot into the floor. And as you're starting to see, I'm kind of standing tall. Now I'm not standing back like a soldier, I'm just growing long. Simple to do. Okay? Rest. That was it, right? So now what you can start doing here, again, hands are here, not the death grip. I'm going to push into my foot, and at the same time, I'm going to look at the door jamb. Now guess what? This is driving. Pushing the gas pedal, and I'm looking over to my left to see if there's a vehicle there or something like this. It's a very simple sequencing pattern that we do every day. This is getting out of bed in the morning. But if you're pushing on the brake and then looking, and stability, those are sequencing issues that, again, we just don't practice with. And also notice too, I'm not doing this. I'm not where my head's here. I'm growing long, and I'm looking up over my shoulder, not into my shoulder. This is where the kyphosis starts. This is where the issues with dementia starts, where I'm trying to look around my shoulder versus over my shoulder. And now after I get that, that's great. Now I'm going to go for something a little bit more complex. Sometimes it helps if you touch it first or just to look at it. But again, now I'm going to just press into my right foot, grow long, and look up. I'm looking up at the corner of the door jamb. And it's really that simple. Again, notice my hands are free. I don't have to hold this door jamb. But again, I don't want you doing this and wobbling, because then you're not being successful. And the whole point of doing a movement lesson is just being successful. And just, again, up and over. Notice how much I have to use the rotation of my chest cavity. I can't sit here and think about growing long, not move my chest and go like, and if you do, slow it down. And just dealing with it, with just that nice slowness. And again, rest. If you need to sit down, rest. This isn't a race. You've never done this before. Now, what I want you to do too is now we're going to add the hand into this. So now what I'd like you to do now is to add the hand into that. So again, I'm in my door jam. So we'll start off with the shoulder. So I'm down here again, I'm pressing through the right foot. And at the same time that I'm pushing through, I'm touching the door jamb and coming back. Pushing through. Now I'm looking at my hand going up. Now my hand's not going below the shoulder because notice that rounds my back. I'm looking to see that my hand is just almost directly, like my wrist is above as shoulder length. So my hand, so it's like at eye level. Did you know your hand is the same length as your chin to your top of your eyebrows? But anyway, so you're just doing this sequencing and looking at the hand. And then again, rest. Do it a couple of times. Nothing's about sweating and now start bringing the hand up. So again, I'm pushing my right through the floor and I'm going up here to reach. And notice too, now my chest moves, my head tilts back nicely. I'm not doing this. Again, if this kind of stretch is too much, is too painful, stay with you successful. That's the one thing you'll see with me, whether it's the kids or the adults. Any of my lessons that you watch, I always keep where they're successful. Now there's a difference between a healthy stress and pushing someone a little bit versus putting them in harm's way, forcing or anything like that. Don't say, well, Michelle could do it, I could do it. I mean, I couldn't do a round kick the first day I started karate or whatever. I still can't do a round kick. I mean, I'm working on it, but it doesn't look like Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris. But, I mean, I practice with it. I play with it. Now, I've just done my whole right side. Do this whole video over and doing it from the left. So start with going along with the foot. But then when you're all done, notice the standing up. Notice, again, now I'm going to go a little bit lower. Feel that don't feel standing up like most people stand up and they throw their head back. You're not a horse. Just slow it down and feel what it's like to push through the foot, even though your feet aren't going through the floor, pushing through the foot to stand up. Because you know what, again, that is getting up out of a chair. The sequencing. And now when you've done the left side and the right side, try playing it up. Now if this is too much to do in one lesson, break it down. Do the right side in the morning, left side in the afternoon, whatever. But now when I'm pushing through the right and I'm bringing my hand up here, notice I can do this and look at you. Or notice that I can do this and look to the other side. Because again, I still have what I'm doing here and teaching you. See this sequencing? My foot is working at the same time. Now, I didn't move my foot and then put my hand here. There's a sequence. This is playing tennis. This is playing basketball. You could be 92. I'm not asking you to play tennis or basketball. But to improve the functioning of sequencing, but also, again, this is driving. When I drive a car and have my foot on the gas pedal, there's no difference between patting my head and rubbing my stomach. When we actually look at some of the movements we do, I need to drive and put my foot in and do all of these things. It's the same thing. It's a sequencing. So if I'm doing this and looking from side to side, again, I'm pushing through the foot. I have a nice rotation to the upper chest. I can do here, and again, I just blew it. I looked at my hand. I can do here and here. See there, my head and my eye sequence. I can do down here. Yes, I can do down to my feet. Notice your speed might increase. You'll feel more confident. And then walk around and see what that feels like, and I think you'll be really surprised how it affects your movements.